Welcome to my channel. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe and like. The rusted steel door screeched, its sharp wail slicing through the silent void, leaving a silver streak across the cold stone floor of the cell. Marcus Kane stood towering in the doorway, his broad silhouette etched against the mottled wall. Light from the 3 moons outside spilled over his shoulder, glinting off the plasma rifle gripped tightly in his left hand. Sweat traced a path down his temple, cutting through the dust caked on his sun-scorched skin, leaving a thin line like a blade's mark. In the shadowed corner of the cell, a small figure huddled, her golden eyes blazing like twin flames, piercing the darkness. She was a Zynari warrior, her silvery skin shimmering faintly beneath tattered prison rags, her long black hair a tangled veil over a gaunt face that still radiated unyielding pride. "Please, human, have mercy!" Her voice trembled, yet carried a sharp resolve. "I know a secret that could save your people. Don't kill me!" Her plea hung in the air, both desperate and defiant. Marcus froze, the plasma rifle suddenly heavy, as if dragging his conscience with it. Her name was Sirith, according to the prisoner list he'd skimmed before his shift. Captured after the Battle of Starfall Gorge, where humanity's fleet crushed the Zynari to protect the Tarvox Alliance. Now she knelt before him, believing he'd come to end her. "Damn it all!" he muttered, stepping forward, his combat boots striking the stone floor with a hollow thud. Sirith flinched as he raised the rifle, her golden eyes widening, reflecting the weapon's cold glow. But Marcus didn't fire. He aimed at the energy cord binding her wrists. A flash of light, precise and clean, and the cord snapped with a sharp snap. "You're free," he said, his voice low, pulling a small, gleaming encryption card from his pocket. He placed it in her hand, his fingers brushing her icy, silver skin, sending a jolt through his chest. "I'll tell the commander you escaped. Go." Her golden eyes widened, shock replacing fear, though wariness lingered. "Why?" she asked, her voice dropping, as if afraid to shatter the moment. "I'm your enemy." Marcus holstered his rifle with practiced ease, his gaze flicking to the dark hallway. "I didn't sign up to murder prisoners," he replied, a bitter edge to his tone. "Especially ones who haven't been tried. Shift changes in 7 minutes. Take the maintenance tunnel west, near the old power station. Don't stop." Sirith rose, her legs trembling but graceful, like a warrior unbroken. She clutched the card, her eyes flashing with resolve. "Thank you, human," she said, her voice carrying rare respect. "Marcus, right?" He nodded, stepping back, his form blending into the moonlight. "Move fast, before I change my mind." Without another word she glided past him, her slender figure melting into the shadowed hall. Her black hair fluttered, leaving a faint scent like desert grass. Marcus stood rooted, his breath heavy, wondering if he just made the greatest mistake of his life. Commander Taggart would tear him apart if he knew. Taggart, with his weathered face and eyes sharp as knives, didn't tolerate weakness. In this war, compassion was a luxury, but Marcus couldn't cross that line. He'd seen too much blood, too many bodies on the red sands, and each pull of the trigger chipped away at his soul. Freeing Sirith was his way of holding on to something human, even if it cost him his life. He turned, stepping out of the cell. The steel door slammed shut, its clang a warning. The hallway was empty, save for the wind whistling through wall cracks. Marcus checked his watch, 6 minutes until the next patrol. He needed an explanation, a lie convincing enough to cover Sirith's absence. "She broke the lock," he muttered, weaving the deception. But her golden eyes haunted him, twin fires burning in the dark. What was the secret she claimed could save his people? A desperate lie, or a truth bigger than the war? He didn't know, but his gut told him Sirith wasn't a liar. Footsteps echoed from afar, crisp and steady. Marcus clenched his fists, straightening, his face a mask of calm duty. 2 figures emerged from the shadows, Sergeant Harker, his scarred face grim, and a rookie, eyes nervous. "Kane," Harker barked. "Status?" "All clear," Marcus replied, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "Prisoners secure." Harker nodded, but his eyes slid past Marcus, searching for anything amiss. Taggart wants you after shift. He's pissed about last week's report. Marcus nodded, hiding his tension. I'll be there. As Harker and the rookie passed, he exhaled, but unease clung to him. Taggart would dig, and if Sirith was recaptured, everything would collapse. He glanced toward the maintenance tunnel where she'd vanished. Part of him hoped she'd made it, but another feared she couldn't survive the desert. War taught him hope was dangerous, but tonight, he felt a flicker of it. A faint sound broke the silence, metal scraping stone. Marcus spun, hand on his pistol. A small figure darted through a dark corner, too fast to identify. Sirith? He whispered, but no answer came. He advanced, night vision goggles humming, scanning the hall. Nothing, just shadows and wind. Yet instinct screamed she hadn't gone far. He checked the tunnel door, still locked, but a fresh scratch on the metal hinted at tampering. His heart pounded. If Sirith was still here, she was risking both their lives. His calm crackled, shattering the quiet. Kane, report now. Taggart's icy voice snapped. Alert from the cell block. Check the prisoners, immediately. Marcus cursed under his breath, gripping the calm someone had noticed. He returned to the cell, heart hammering. The steel door stood closed, but a chill ran down his spine. He raised his rifle, shoving the door open. The cell was empty, but scratched into the wall, carved by fingernails, was a Zynari symbol, a circle with 3 slashes. Marcus didn't know its meaning, but one thing was clear: Sirith had left a mark, and this story was far from over. 4 days later, Marcus Kane patrolled the outskirts of Citadel Vorn, a lonely human outpost in the Crimson Desert. The flickering light of the 3 moons cast writhing shadows across the sand, like ghostly fingers poised to strike. His mission was simple: sweep the area for Zynari insurgents. Dust clung to his armor, but Marcus kept his rifle low, eyes sharp, scanning the horizon. Sector 7, all clear, he reported into his calm, voice steady. Only static hissed back. Sandstorms had scrambled comms all week, as if the desert itself sought to isolate them. A faint sound, sand shifting, made him whirl, rifle raised, finger hovering over the trigger. From the darkness, Siritha's golden eyes flared, brilliant as twin flames. Her silvery skin gleamed under moonlight, a sleek combat suit replacing her prison rags, likely stolen from a supply cache. You! Marcus lowered his rifle, voice low, laced with surprise and suspicion. What are you doing here? You should be hundreds of miles away. Sirith stepped forward, hands raised, palms open in a gesture of peace. The suit hugged her lithe, resilient frame, like a blade forged from starlight. I couldn't leave, she said, her voice firm, unwavering. Not when I owe you. And I have information your commander needs to hear. Marcus frowned, glancing over his shoulder, checking for shadows in the night. Moonlight lit his face, revealing taut lines of stress. What information? He asked, voice hushed, as if the desert might eavesdrop. Sirith closed the distance, her golden eyes locking onto his, urgency burning within. About something that could destroy Citadel Vorn, she said, voice cold as steel. A Zynari extremist faction, the Order of the Purge, is preparing to activate a device called the Void Curse. It can obliterate every power system for thousands of miles, plunging your colony into eternal darkness. Her words hit like a blow, rooting Marcus to the spot. He'd heard rumors of Zynari weapons, but nothing concrete. If she spoke true, Citadel, with its tens of thousands of civilians, would fall. If she lied? He had no time to decide. A deafening explosion roared from the distance, a crimson fireball erupting over Citadel's skyline, tearing the night apart. Sirith paled, her eyes widening. Too late, she whispered. They've begun. A second blast, closer, shook the ground, sand spraying wildly. Marcus yanked Sirith from the choking dust, gripping his rifle, eyes scanning the horizon where flashes signaled an attack. That's not your regular army, he growled, checking his weapon's charge. Correct, Sirith replied, her golden eyes reflecting distant flames. The Order of the Purge doesn't represent my people. They're fanatics, hell-bent on wiping humanity from the galaxy. Another explosion detonated, close enough to sear Marcus's skin through his armor. They dove behind a boulder, breaths ragged. "We can't stay here," he said, voice resolute. "And I can't bring you to base in the middle of this." Sirith looked up, black hair streaked with sand, eyes sharp. She pointed east, where jagged mountains loomed, their black silhouettes like a beast's teeth under moonlight. "There's a network of ancient caves in Blackrock Gorge," she said, voice calm despite the chaos. "My people used them as shelters before the war. They're deep enough to avoid bombardment." Marcus hesitated, his mind racing. Taking Sirith to base was suicide. Taggart would brand her a spy, him a traitor. But staying here was no better. "Lead the way," he said, voice curt. They plunged into the darkness, crouching low as warships screamed overhead, their searchlights raking the desert like predators' eyes. The 3 moons hung above, their silver glow just enough to navigate. Marcus flicked on night vision, scanning for patrol tracks. The terrain grew rough, sharp sand scraping his boots, but Sirith moved with agility, as if the desert were her domain. "You're risking everything for me," she said, voice low, pausing behind a rock cluster. "Why?" Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, eyes tracing her, struck by the strange beauty of her silvery skin. "Because I believe some things are worth fighting for," he replied, voice deep. "And this war isn't as simple as they claim." A faint smile curved Sirith's lips, lighting her face. "Few wars are, Marcus Kane." They pressed on, the sounds of bombardment fading, though the air reeked of smoke. After an hour, Sirith led him to a narrow mountain pass, cliffs towering. She touched a rocky outcrop, her silver skin sparkling faintly. A hidden door slid open, revealing a pitch-black passage. "Zynari Biotech," she said, stepping into the cool darkness. "It reads our energy signature." Marcus followed, rifle tight, awed as the passage widened into a vast cave, its ceiling aglow with luminescent patterns. "A sacred place of my ancestors," Sirith said, voice reverent. "They believed these patterns were whispers from the stars." In a smaller chamber, traces of habitation remained, worn stone benches, empty wall niches. Marcus dropped his pack, taking stock, 2 water flasks, rations, a medkit, his rifle with 2 power cells. "Not cozy but safe," he said, sitting across from Sirith. She curled up, hugging her knees, golden eyes gleaming. "There may not be a next step," she said, voice heavy. "The Order won't stop." "Then we'll stop them," Marcus replied, resolute. She studied him, her gaze piercing. "You're not like any human I've met. Most would have shot me." Marcus gave a wry smile, splitting a ration bar, offering her half. "Most aren't me." Their hands brushed, a spark jolting through him. Sirith felt it too, her silver cheeks shimmering darker. "Thank you," she said softly. "For everything." They ate in silence, but Marcus couldn't ignore her presence, the desert wind scent, her fluid movements, the intellect behind those eyes. "Rest," he said, voice rough. "I'll take first watch." Sirith lay on the stone, black hair fanning like a halo. Despite the harshness, her beauty stirred him, making him question if she was truly an enemy. His calm crackled, shattering the quiet. "Kane, report!" Taggart's voice roared. "Alert in the outskirts." "Check now!" Marcus cursed, glancing at Sirith. The Zynari symbol from the cell flashed in his mind. She'd drawn him into something bigger, and there was no turning back. They raced across the desert, hunched low, shadows flickering under the wavering light of the 3 moons. Warships roared overhead, their searchlights like beastly eyes, stirring sand into swirling vortices. Marcus kept his rifle close, steps steady despite the increasingly treacherous terrain. Razor-sharp dunes sliced at his boots, jagged rocks looming like a predator's fangs. Sirith led, her slender form gliding swiftly, as if the desert were an extension of her being. Moonlight bathed her silver skin, making her glow amidst the darkness. Marcus occasionally flicked on night vision, scanning faint footprints in the sand, checking for patrol signs. Nothing, just the howling wind and the distant scent of smoke. They paused behind a rock cluster, breaths heaving. Cirith turned, her golden eyes gleaming, cutting through the shadows. "You're risking everything for me," she said, voice low, laced with doubt and curiosity. "Why?" Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, dust stinging his skin. He met her gaze, unflinching. "Because I believe in fighting for what's right," he said, voice deep, certain. "And I'm starting to think this war isn't as clear-cut as they taught us." A faint smile touched Cirith's lips, illuminating her gaunt face, her strange beauty vivid under moonlight. "Few wars are simple, Marcus Kane," she said, her voice carrying unexpected empathy, as if they shared an unspoken secret. They pressed on, Citadel's bombardment fading, but the air thick with smoke and danger. The desert felt alive, stalking, waiting for a misstep. Marcus felt the weight of his rifle, his duty, and the choice to free Cirith 4 days ago. If she was a spy, he'd opened the door to disaster. But those golden eyes, the resolve in her voice, made it impossible to see her as just an enemy. After over an hour, the terrain grew harsher, sand giving way to shattered stone and narrow gorges. Cirith stopped at a sheer cliff face, her silver hand touching a rocky outcrop. A faint spark flared, and a hidden door slid open, revealing a pitch-black passage, cold air seeping out like a dark breath. "Zynari biotech," she explained, voice low, stepping into the cave. "It responds to our energy patterns." Marcus followed, rifle tight, eyes scanning the path. The space widened into a vast cavern, its ceilings shimmering with faint, glowing patterns, like imprisoned stars. Pale blue light bathed his armor, casting long shadows on the stone floor. "This is a sacred place of my ancestors," Cirith said, her voice hushed with reverence. "They believed these patterns were messages from the stars." Marcus looked up, awestruck. The swirling designs resembled a map of a lost cosmos, but he snapped back to reality. This wasn't the time for wonder. They entered a smaller chamber, traces of life lingering, worn stone benches, empty wall niches. Marcus set down his pack, checking supplies, 2 water flasks, emergency rations, a medkit, his plasma rifle with 2 spare cells. "Not comfortable, but secure," he said, sitting across from Cirith, back against the cold stone. She curled up, hugging her knees, golden eyes glowing in the dim light, like flames that never faded. "There may be no next step, Marcus," she said, voice heavy. "The order of the purge won't stop until Citadel is erased. Then we'll stop them," Marcus replied, firm, though doubts gnawed at him. He studied her, trying to read the thoughts behind those eyes. "What do you know about the Void Curse?" Cirith took a deep breath, her gaze drifting to the ceiling patterns, as if seeking answers in the past. "It's an ancient weapon," she began, voice measured. "My ancestors built it to disable enemy technology. The Order has reactivated it, modified to target human reactors. If it activates, every system in Citadel, from shields to life support, will go dark." Marcus clenched his jaw, picturing Citadel plunged into chaos, civilians panicking, the military helpless. "And you know where it is?" he asked, voice sharp. Cirith nodded, her gaze steely. "In a hidden fortress in the Shattered Range, 10 miles from here. But getting there won't be easy. The Order has patrols, drones, and Kael'varn, their commander. He's merciless." Marcus gave a wry smile, splitting a ration bar, offering her half. "Then we'll have to be clever." Their hands brushed, a silent spark passing between them. Cirith felt it, her silver cheeks shimmering darker. "Thank you," she said softly, a rare warmth in her voice. They ate in silence, but Marcus couldn't ignore her presence, the desert wind scent, her graceful movements, the sharp intellect behind her golden eyes. She wasn't the enemy he'd been trained to destroy. "Rest," he said, voice rough. "I'll keep watch." Cirith lay on the stone, black hair fanning like a halo. Despite the harshness, her strange beauty stirred him, making him question the war's clarity. His calm crackled, shattering the quiet. "Kane, report!" Taggart's voice roared icy. Zynari traces in the outskirts. Investigate now! Marcus cursed. Gripping the calm, he glanced at Cirith, now upright, golden eyes alert. They know you're here, he said, voice low. She nodded, hand brushing the small knife at her hip. Or that I haven't gone far. Marcus stood, checking his rifle. We can't stay long. If a patrol finds this cave... He trailed off, but his eyes said it all, they'd be dead. A faint sound came from the entrance, stones crunching. Marcus raised his rifle, night vision humming. A shadow darted across the rocky gap, too fast to identify. Cirith, he whispered, signaling her to fall back. She moved silently, knife drawn, its blade glinting. Marcus advanced toward the entrance, heart pounding. The ceiling's glowing patterns dimmed, as if the cave itself warned of danger. A red flash sparked outside, paired with the drone's whine. Patrol, Marcus said, voice tense. They're scanning the area. Cirith pointed to a wall niche. There's a secondary exit, but it's narrow. We need to move. Marcus nodded, but the Zynari symbol from the cell flashed in his mind. Cirith knew more than she shared, and he was plunging deeper into a dangerous game where trust was the rarest commodity. In the dimly lit cave, the ceiling's glowing patterns shimmered like captive stars. Cirith studied Marcus, her golden eyes piercing through his armor and doubts. You're not like any human I've met, she said, her voice low, laced with surprise and respect. Most would have shot me on sight. Marcus gave a faint smile, pulling a ration bar from his pack, snapping it in half, and offering her a piece. Most humans aren't me, he replied, his voice rough, eyes tracing her, struck by the strange beauty of her silvery skin under the pale blue glow. Their hands brushed, an invisible spark jolting through him, making his heart skip. Cirith felt it too, her silver cheeks shimmered darker, as if her body reacted to the unexpected closeness. Thank you, she said softly, warmth creeping into her voice. For everything. They ate in silence, the faint crunch of rations echoing in the cave's stillness. Marcus couldn't ignore Cirith's presence, the desert wind scent, her poised yet wary posture, the sharp intellect behind those golden eyes. She wasn't the enemy he'd been trained to destroy, but a puzzle, a mystery that made him want to trust her yet stay cautious. We should rest, he said, voice hoarse, masking his unease. Take shifts. I'll watch first. Cirith nodded, lying on the stone floor, her black hair fanning out like a halo, glinting in the dim light. Despite the harshness, her beauty unsettled him, making him question if this war truly divided them as he'd believed. Marcus leaned against the cold stone wall, rifle across his lap, eyes scanning the dark entrance. The cave was quiet, but he knew the safety was fleeting. The Order of the Purge was attacking Citadel, and Taggart had likely noticed his absence. If a patrol found this cave, either he nor Cirith would escape. He glanced at her, her breathing slightly faster than a human's, her delicate face illuminated by the glowing patterns. What was the secret she carried, the void curse? Truth or trap? He wasn't sure, but the Zynari symbol from the cell haunted him, a warning he was stepping into something bigger than himself. A sharp beep from his comm shattered the silence, startling Marcus. He dozed off during his watch, lulled by the cave's false peace, a deadly mistake in wartime. Cursing under his breath, he grabbed the comm Cirith slept on, her black hair framing her face, her breathing steady. The comm beeped again, an urgent signal from Delta Team, Lieutenant Harper's voice crackling through gunfire and explosions. Delta 3 under attack, need to fall back now. Marcus shook Cirith, his voice urgent. Wake up, partner. My team's in trouble. Her golden eyes snapped open, instantly alert, like a warrior born ready. What's happening? She asked, sitting up, hair tumbling over her shoulders. Delta Team's ambushed. They need help. Marcus handed her the comm, his eyes tense. Cirith stood, wary, her hand brushing the small knife at her hip. You're going to save them? She asked, her voice calm but sharp. They're my team, Marcus replied, unwavering, though conflict churned within. But you know about the void curse. If we fail. Sirith cut him off, her voice firm. I'm coming with you. My information's useless if Citadel falls before we act. Marcus nodded, his mind a tangle of doubt. Bringing Sirith into battle was risky, but leaving her alone in the cave was no safer. What do you know about this weapon? He asked, locking eyes with her. Sirith stepped closer, the cave's luminescent glow bathing her silver skin, making her seem to radiate. The Void Curse is an ancient energy device, she said, her voice heavy with history. Zynari ancestors built it to disable enemy technology. The Order reactivated it, modified to target human reactors. If it activates, every system in Citadel, defenses, life support, will go dark. Marcus inhaled sharply, picturing Citadel plunged into chaos, civilians in panic, the military powerless. A catastrophe, he said, voice taut. Exactly, Sirith replied, her gaze steely. And I know its location. It's hidden in a fortress in the Shattered Range, guarded by Kael'varn, the Order's commander. The calm crackled again, Harper's voice now desperate. Kane, if you're hearing this, we're at Fire Gorge, can't hold out much longer. Gunfire and explosions drowned the rest, but Marcus had the location. Fire Gorge, a few miles away, was a deadly maze of treacherous terrain. If Delta was trapped, time was short. He gripped his rifle, meeting Siritha's gaze. 2 objectives: save Delta, destroy the Void Curse. You ready? Sirith nodded, her golden eyes blazing like twin flames. Let's do this, Marcus Kane. They packed quickly, Marcus checking his gear, water, rations, rifle with 2 spare cells. Sirith tied back her hair, revealing a sharp, silver-glinting face. He noted her transformation, from desperate prisoner to warrior ready for danger. Kael'varn, he said, voice low. How dangerous is he? Sirith paused, her eyes drifting to the ceiling patterns, as if seeking answers in memory. He's the Order's finest warrior, she replied. Fast, strong, relentless. But he's arrogant. If we're clever, we can exploit that. Marcus nodded, but a question nod. Sirith knew more than she shared, and the Zynari symbol remained a mystery. A distant drone's whine pierced the stone walls, freezing them. Marcus flicked on night vision, scanning the entrance. A red flash sparked outside, paired with a low engine hum. Patrol, he whispered, gripping his rifle. Sirith pointed to a wall niche. Secondary exit there, but it's narrow. We need to move. Marcus nodded, but a small explosion rocked the main entrance, the stone floor trembling. Dust rained from the ceiling, the glowing patterns flickering like an alarm. They've found us, Sirith said, voice tense, drawing her knife, its blade glinting. Marcus raised his rifle, eyes cold. Cover my back, he said, leading toward the secondary exit. But in the shadows, a figure darted, swift as a specter. Not a drone, not a patrol, but a Zynari warrior in sleek black armor, eyes glowing red. Kael'varn, Sirith whispered, dread in her voice. The cave was no longer a sanctuary but a trap, and Marcus knew their first battle had begun. Fire Gorge was a wasteland, weathered stone pillars rising like giant spears, slicing the blazing orange dawn sky. As Marcus and Sirith arrived, the rising sun bathed the desert in fiery hues. Gunfire and explosions echoed, guiding them through choking dust. Marcus crouched behind a boulder, peering through binoculars, eyes narrowing at Delta team pinned down by the Order of the Purge. Zynari warriors in glossy black armor, their energy weapons flashing, overwhelmed the 6 human soldiers huddled behind rubble. They won't last long, Marcus whispered, checking his rifle's charge. What's the plan? Sirith, crouched beside him, pointed to a high ledge above the gorge, its shadow stark against the sky. I can climb there, disable their drone control system, she said, voice certain. Without drones, your team can counterattack. Marcus frowned, eyeing the treacherous terrain. Too dangerous. If you're spotted, I'm Zynari, Sirith interrupted, a confident smile flickering, lighting her silver face. We're born to move in shadows. Without waiting for approval, she darted off, her lithe form scaling the cliff, swift as a wraith. Marcus shook his head, but couldn't help admiring her courage. He slipped toward the gorge, using battle smoke to approach Delta, rifle tight, breathing steady despite his pounding heart. As he neared, Lieutenant Harper spotted him, his bloodied, dust-caked face lighting up. "Kane, I knew you'd come!" Harper shouted over the blasts. "Save the thanks," Marcus replied, dropping a Zynari warrior advancing, his plasma bolt tearing through black armor. "Sit rep?" "Down to 4. Harper rasped, clutching a shoulder wound. "They've got drones and something like energy grenades. Shreds our armor." Marcus gritted his teeth, scanning the battlefield. Drones whined overhead, firing red energy beams, boxing Delta in. Suddenly, a deafening blast erupted from the ledge above. Marcus looked up, seeing flashes and smoke. Sirith had done it. The Order's drone system faltered, metal machines crashing like meteors into the sand. Delta seized the chance, counterattacking fiercely, gunfire drowning the desert wind's howl. But the victory was brief. A towering figure emerged from the dust, black armor gleaming with red patterns, like blood on steel. Kael'varn, the Order's commander Sirith had warned of in the cave. "Humans!" Kael'varn's voice boomed through his mask, cold and sharp as a blade. "You'll never leave this place!" He raised a hand, a red energy pulse blasting Harper backward, slamming him into a stone pillar. Marcus leaped up, firing rapidly, but his plasma bolts bounced off Kael'varn's energy shield, like water on glass. "Sirith, need backup!" he yelled into his calm voice strained. From above, Sirith's voice came, urgent but composed. "On my way. Keep him busy!" She plunged from the ledge, her energy knife blazing, her silver form a comet streak. She struck Kael'varn from behind, her blade slashing down, but he spun lightning fast, blocking with his armored arm, sparks flying. "Sirith Vera!" Kael'varn growled, voice dripping contempt. "Traitor to Zynari blood! You dare side with these vermin?" Marcus seized the moment, firing a volley at Kael'varn's legs, unbalancing him, his black armor staggering. Sirith darted back, pulling Marcus behind a pillar, her breath ragged. "We can't beat him here," she whispered, golden eyes gleaming. "But I planted a jammer in his system. His shield will weaken soon. We need to get your team out." Marcus nodded, scanning Delta. 2 soldiers supported Harper, the last providing cover fire, all exhausted, armor torn. With Sirith's aid, Delta retreated, dragging the wounded, stumbling through the gorge. Marcus led, rifle raised, eyes checking every shadow. Sirith followed, energy knife ready, her silver glow a guiding flame in the dust. They climbed over shattered pillars, the rugged terrain slowing them. Just when escape seemed near, a twist struck. Harper, the teammate Marcus trusted, halted, drawing his pistol and aiming at him. "Don't move, Kane," Harper said, voice icy, eyes pained but resolute. "She doesn't leave." Marcus froze, rifle still in hand, but he didn't aim. "Harper, what are you doing?" he asked, voice low, staying calm despite his racing heart. Harper gritted his teeth, his trembling hand on the trigger, blood from his shoulder staining his armor. "I don't want this, Kane," he rasped. "The Order has my family. They'll free my wife and kids if I hand over Sirith. She knows too much about the Void Curse." Sirith stood still, her golden eyes cold, hand tightening on her knife. "You've betrayed your team," she said, voice calm but cutting. "That won't save your family." "Shut up!" Harper screamed, finger twitching, pistol aimed at her. Marcus stepped in front of Sirith, eyes locked on Harper. "Lower the gun," he said, voice low, firm. "We can find another way. Don't let them control you." Harper shook his head, eyes bloodshot, torn apart. "You don't get it, Kane. They'll kill my daughter!" Before Marcus could reply, drones whined in the distance, red lights sweeping the gorge. Kael'varn was back, leading the Order's black-armored warriors, gleaming like wolves in the dark. Harper panicked, firing a shot skyward, the blast echoing. "I have no choice!" he shouted, then fled into the shadows, leaving Delta in a fight for survival. Marcus yanked Sirith into a narrow crevice, dodging red energy bolts, rocks splintering around them. "We can't stay," he said, voice tense, checking the map on his wrist device. "How far to the Order's fortress in the Shattered Range?" 10 miles north," Sirith replied, calm despite the danger. "But Kael'varn won't let us near the Void Curse." Marcus clenched his jaw, reeling from Harper's betrayal. "Can you disable it?" Sirith nodded, eyes steely. "I worked on its reactivation before I knew the Order's true goal. It needs a high-level Zynari biocode, like Kael'varn's. If we capture him, I can lock it down." Marcus gave a wry smile, retreating deeper into the crevice. "Capture him? You don't make this easy, do you?" Heavy footsteps echoed, the Order's black armor glinting outside the crevice. Marcus signaled Delta to fall back, but only 3 soldiers could move. Sirith knelt by a wounded man, using Marcus's medkit, her silver glow flickering in the dark. "We have to go," he whispered, pulling her up. She nodded, but her eyes scanned the gorge, where Kael'varn's shadow loomed closer. "He knows I'm here," she said, voice low. "He won't stop." Marcus gripped his rifle, eyes cold. "Then we'll be faster." They plunged into the dark, dragging their comrades, but the Zynari symbol from the cell flashed in Marcus's mind. Harper had turned, Kael'varn hunted them, and Sirith carried a secret bigger than she'd revealed. This fight wasn't just for Citadel, it was for a truth that could change everything. Marcus stood rooted, rifle gripped tight, finger hovering over the trigger, eyes locked on Harper, the teammate he trusted. "Harper, what the hell are you doing?" he asked, voice low, fighting to stay calm as shock surged like a tide. Harper's lips twisted into a bitter, broken smile, his blood and dust-streaked face contorted. His eyes, red-rimmed, burned with pain and desperation. "You think I want this, Kane?" he rasped, his trembling hand clutching the pistol. "The Order has my family. They'll free my wife and kids if I give them Sirith. She knows too much about the Void Curse." Sirith stood motionless behind Marcus, her golden eyes icy, like a blade hidden in shadow. "You've betrayed your team," she said, voice calm but sharp as steel. "That won't save your family." "Shut up!" Harper roared, finger tightening on the trigger, his gaze flickering between rage and fear. Marcus stepped forward, shielding Sirith, rifle still in hand but not raised. "Lower the gun," he said, voice low, unyielding. "We can find another way. Don't let them own you." Harper shook his head, breath ragged, like a cornered animal. "You don't get it, Kane. I'm out of options." Before Marcus could respond, a deafening explosion rocked the distance, the ground quaking, sand spraying. Through the dust, Kael'varn emerged, his black armor gleaming with red patterns, his energy shield flaring anew. He led the Order's warriors, their black-armored forms moving like wraiths, energy weapons flashing in the dark. Harper's eyes widened, panic seizing him. He fired a shot skyward, the blast echoing through the gorge. "I have no choice!" he screamed, then turned and fled into the shadows, abandoning Delta in a fight for their lives. Marcus yanked Sirith into a narrow crevice, dodging red energy bolts, rocks shattering around them. "We can't stay," he said, voice taut, eyes scanning the faint green map on his wrist device. "How far to the Order's fortress in the Shattered Range?" Sirith, crouched beside him, her silver cheeks glinting, replied. "About 10 miles north." Her voice was steady despite the chaos. "But we need a plan. Kael'varn won't let us near the Void Curse." Marcus nodded, his mind reeling from Harper's betrayal. The man who'd fought beside him through countless battles had turned, broken by the Order's leverage. Marcus couldn't fully blame him. Family was a universal weakness, but the truth cut like a knife. "Can you disable the weapon?" he asked, locking eyes with Sirith. She nodded, her black hair streaked with sand, golden eyes blazing. "I worked on its reactivation," she said, her voice heavy with memory. "Before I learned the Order's true purpose. It requires a high-level Zynari biocode, like Kael'varn's. If we capture him, I can shut it down." Marcus gave a wry smile, retreating deeper into the crevice. "Capture him? You don't make things easy, do you? They moved swiftly, using the gorge's rugged terrain to evade pursuit. Shattered pillars offered temporary cover, but the drone's whine overhead and the red glow of energy weapons made every step a gamble. Marcus led, rifle raised, eyes scanning every shadow. Cirith followed, her energy knife gleaming, her silver glow a guiding flame. The remaining Delta team, 3 exhausted soldiers, trailed, dragging the wounded. As the sun set, the 3 moons rose, their silver light bathing the shattered range, where the Order's hidden fortress lay in a valley. Marcus crouched behind a boulder, peering through binoculars. Energy defense towers glowed blue, encircling the fortress like a deadly web. An armored convoy rolled out, dust swirling under moonlight. That's Kael'varn, Cirith whispered, pointing to the central vehicle, its black armor gleaming with red patterns. He's moving the Void Curse to an activation site. Marcus gripped his rifle, eyes cold. Then we hit them now. He turned to Delta, voice low but firm. Stay here, hold position. If we're not back in 2 hours, retreat to Citadel and report. The lead soldier nodded, eyes uneasy. Marcus looked at Cirith, her silver cheeks shimmering under moonlight. Ready? She nodded, her energy knife flaring. Let's go. They slipped into the valley, using darkness and broken terrain to approach the convoy. Marcus signaled, pointing to a rear cargo vehicle, faint green light leaking through its seams. The Void Curse might be there, he whispered. Cirith nodded, her golden eyes scanning the convoy. We need a diversion. I'll sabotage a defense tower, draw their attention. Marcus frowned. Too risky. If you're caught, I'm faster than them. She cut in, a confident smile flickering. Stay safe, Marcus Kane. Before he could protest, she vanished into the dark, her silver form gone behind a pillar. Marcus gritted his teeth, creeping toward the cargo vehicle, using the convoy's dust to mask his approach. He planted a small explosive under the lead vehicle's wheel, enough to slow them without major damage. When the blast erupted, the convoy halted, dust billowing. Kael'varn stepped from the central vehicle, his black armor gleaming, voice booming through his mask. Find them! Marcus hid behind a cargo crate, heart pounding, eyes on the defense tower. A flash sparked in the distance. Cirith had triggered her jammer, the tower flickering then going dark. The Order's soldiers scrambled toward it, leaving the cargo vehicle nearly unguarded. Marcus leaped onto the vehicle, prying open the rear lock, green light spilling out, blinding him briefly. But inside concurrent was no Void Curse, just a decoy energy core, emitting a high-pitched whine. Trap! He cursed, leaping out as the core detonated, flames engulfing the vehicle. He rolled into the sand, ears ringing, skin burning. Cirith appeared, pulling him into the shadows, her eyes tense. He knew we were coming, she whispered. The Void Curse is still in the fortress. Heavy footsteps echoed, Kael'varn advancing, his red energy shield blazing. You cannot escape, Cirith Vera, he roared. Marcus gripped his rifle, meeting Cirith's gaze. The Zynari symbol from the cell flashed in his mind. She was the key, but also the spark, and he knew saving Citadel meant trusting her, even if it cost everything. The valley lay shrouded in darkness, the silver light of the 3 moons casting cold streaks across the sand. Marcus and Cirith crept downward, moving like wraiths, using the broken terrain to conceal their approach. Ahead, the Order of the Purge's armored convoy rumbled slowly, dust swirling under moonlight. Marcus signaled, pointing to the lead vehicle's wheel. He planted a small explosive, its red light blinking faintly. Enough to slow them, he whispered, eyes scanning the glowing blue energy defense tower in the distance. Cirith nodded, her silver cheeks glinting, gripping a jamming device. I'll handle the tower, she said, voice low, then vanished into the shadows. The explosion rang out, sharp but contained, shattering the lead wheel and halting the convoy with a screech of metal. Kael'varn stepped from the central vehicle, his black armor gleaming with red patterns, like congealed blood under moonlight. Find them! He roared through his mask, his cold voice echoing across the valley. Marcus ducked behind a boulder, rifle raised, dropping 2 guards before they could react, plasma bolts tearing through their black armor. In the distance, the tower's blue glow flickered and died. Sirith had disabled it. But as Marcus slipped toward the cargo vehicle, where faint green light leaked through seams, a bad feeling gripped him. He pried open the lock, the door sliding back, but inside was no void curse, just a decoy energy core, emitting a high-pitched whine. "Trap!" Sirith shouted, bursting from the dark, yanking Marcus from the vehicle as the core detonated. Flames erupted, swallowing the surrounding area, the heat searing his skin through his armor. They tumbled down a slope, jagged rocks cutting their hands, but escaped the blast's heart. The ground shook, black smoke blotting out the moons. Marcus coughed, pulling Sirith to her feet, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. "You okay?" he asked, voice taut. She nodded, her golden eyes gleaming, though her silver cheeks were streaked with dust. "He knew we were coming," she whispered, her gaze darting to the hilltop. Kael'Varn appeared, his towering form like a demon from hell, his red energy shield blazing. "Did you think I'd leave the void curse within reach of vermin, Sirith?" he sneered, his voice sharp as a blade. "The real device is in the fortress, and it activates in 12 hours. Marcus gritted his teeth, gripping his rifle, eyes sweeping the valley. The Order's forces poured in, their black armor glinting, energy weapons flashing, encircling them from all sides. No way out. "We need to reach the fortress," he said, voice low, pulling Sirith back, searching for a gap in the trap. Sirith froze, her golden eyes resolute. "Wait," she whispered, her fingers flying over her wrist device. A small spark flared, and suddenly the sky blazed. A small, swift Zynari ship dove from the darkness, strafing the Order's forces with blue energy beams. Sand sprayed, black armor shattered, screams drowning the wind. The ship looped, carving a path through the encirclement. Marcus stared, rifle still raised. "Who'd you call?" he asked, his voice torn between awe and suspicion. Sirith gave a weak smile, blood seeping from a shoulder wound. "An old friend," she rasped, her eyes on the ship. "But we don't have much time." Marcus nodded, pulling her through the gap, using the strafing's dust to sprint toward the shattered range. The remaining Delta team, 3 exhausted soldiers, followed, dragging the wounded. The Zynari ship made another pass, providing cover, then vanished into the night, as if it had never been. Kael'Varn's enraged roar echoed, but he didn't pursue immediately, likely to secure the fortress. They halted behind a massive outcrop, breaths ragged. Marcus checked his wrist device. The map showed the fortress less than 2 miles away. 12 hours? He muttered, eyes cold. Not enough for a proper plan. Sirith sat, wiping blood from her shoulder, her silver glow dimmed by exhaustion. "We don't need complex," she said, voice low. "The fortress has a western auxiliary entrance, an old Zynari war tunnel. I know how to open it, but inside we'll be crawling with guards and traps." Marcus studied her, the Zynari symbol from the cell flashing in his mind. "Your old friend," he said, voice low. "Who are they? Why help us?" Sirith inhaled deeply, her gaze sweeping the valley, as if seeking answers in the dark. "They're remnants of a Zynari faction opposing the Order," she replied. "I fought with them before my capture. They don't want this war, Marcus. Not all Zynari are your enemies." He nodded, but unease lingered. Harper had betrayed for family, Sirith summoned allies from her past, and Kael'Varn held a weapon that could erase Citadel. The lines were blurring, but he had no time for doubt. "The auxiliary entrance," he said, standing. "Lead on." They moved swiftly, using darkness and broken terrain for cover. The fortress loomed, a massive metal bulk buried in the cliff, its blue defense towers glowing. Sirith guided Marcus to a narrow gorge, touching the rock face. Her silver skin sparked, and a hidden door slid open, revealing a pitch-black tunnel, the stale scent of old metal wafting out. "Biotech," she whispered, stepping in. Marcus followed, rifle raised, eyes scanning the dark. The remaining Delta team was ordered to hold position and report if they didn't return. The tunnel was damp, its stone walls etched with faint Zynari patterns, eerily similar to the cell's symbol. A low hum echoed, paired with a distant red glow. "Trap," Marcus whispered, pulling Cirith back. A patrol drone glided past, its sensors sweeping the floor. Cirith drew her knife, her silver glow flashing as she stabbed its core, the drone crashing in a shower of sparks. "They know we're here," she said, voice tense. Marcus nodded, eyes cold. "Then we move faster." They plunged deeper, but heavy footsteps echoed behind. Kael'varn had found them, and Marcus knew the final confrontation was near. Cirith was the key, but also the spark, and he had to trust her, though the Zynari symbol lingered, a warning that the truth could unravel everything. The Zynari ship touched down in a narrow canyon, its engines whining before falling silent, leaving the desert's heavy stillness. Sand drifted under moonlight, the 3 moons hanging like cold, watchful eyes. The ship's hatch slid open, and a tall Zynari stepped out, her pristine white armor gleaming with blue patterns, like lost stars on snow. "Terran!" Cirith called, her voice trembling with emotion, her silver cheeks blazing as she rushed forward. "I knew you'd come." Terran, commander of the Zynari resistance, stood tall, her sharp eyes scanning Marcus, as if reading his every thought. "So this is the human you'd die to protect?" she asked, her voice low, tinged with doubt. Cirith stepped forward, her golden eyes unwavering. "He saved me," she replied, voice firm. "And he can help us stop the Order." Terran nodded, though her gaze remained icy, a warrior weighing every possibility. "We've tracked Kael'varn for years," she said, turning to the ship, beckoning them inside. "He doesn't just want to destroy humans, he plans to use the Void Curse to subjugate the Zynari. He believes only the strongest deserve to survive." Marcus frowned, gripping his rifle, following Cirith into the ship's hold. Pale blue light from the consoles bathed his face, highlighting taut lines of stress. "Why help us?" he asked, voice low, locking eyes with Terran. Terran paused, turning to face him, her golden eyes like Cirith's but hardened by years of war. "Because Cirith is my sister," she replied, her voice softening, as if the admission were an old wound. "And because I believe this war is wrong. Our people once lived in peace with yours, before the Order fanned the flames of hate." Her words hit like a blow, freezing Marcus. He glanced at Cirith, surprise and suspicion mingling. "You didn't mention this," he whispered, voice low, edged with reproach. Cirith lowered her eyes, black hair veiling part of her silver face. "I didn't want you to think I was using you," she replied, voice earnest, her golden eyes seeking forgiveness. "I just wanted you to believe in our cause." Marcus nodded, but a puzzle piece clicked into place, raising new questions. Cirith wasn't just a Zynari warrior, she was the sister of a resistance leader, carrying secrets that could shift the war's tide. He sat on a metal bench, the blue light glinting off his dusty armor. Terran stood at the console, activating a holographic display of the Void Curse's intricate structure. "This isn't just a technological weapon," she said, voice sharp. "It's powered by an ancient crystal, the Starfall Heart. The crystal amplifies energy, but if destroyed, it'll trigger an explosion that could erase the shattered range." Marcus leaned forward, eyes narrowing, studying the hologram. The crystal glowed like a captive star, blue light swirling within. "What's the plan?" he asked, voice low. Terran zoomed in on a section of the fortress. "We infiltrate, extract the Starfall Heart, and destroy it before Kael'varn activates the device," she replied. "The western auxiliary entrance is our only shot, and Cirith knows how to open it." Cirith nodded, her gaze steely. "But Kael'varn bolstered defenses after the Valley attack. We need precision and speed." The ship hummed, engines warming for takeoff. Marcus checked his rifle, glancing at the remaining Delta team, 3 weary soldiers, silent in the hold's corner. They'd lost too much, and Harper's betrayal still cut deep. "Harper," he said, voice low, looking at Terran. "If he comes back, whose side will he be on?" Terran's eyes were cold. "He chose the Order, whatever his reasons," she replied. "Don't expect loyalty from a traitor." Sirith touched Marcus's shoulder, her silver glow flickering. We don't need Harper, she said, voice low. We have each other, and Terran. That's enough. Marcus nodded, but unease simmered. Harper knew too much about him, Sirith, their plans. If the Order extracted information, the fortress would be a death trap. The ship lifted off, streaking through the desert, darkness swallowing its engine glow. Terran piloted, eyes focused, but her voice came through the intercom. Kael Varn isn't just a warrior, she said. He's the Order symbol. Take him down, and their movement crumbles. Fail, and the Void Curse activates, dooming Citadel, and the Zynari. Sirith sat beside Marcus, her golden eyes gleaming, searching his face. You still trust me, right? She asked, voice soft, almost a whisper. Marcus met her gaze, the Zynari symbol flashing in his mind, but he pushed it aside. I trust you, Sirith, he replied, voice firm. But no more secrets. If we're going to win, I need everything. She nodded, eyes sincere. No more secrets, she promised, her hand briefly squeezing his, a silent spark passing between them. The ship descended near the shattered range, half a mile from the fortress. Marcus stood, checking his rifle and remaining explosives. Terran led, her white armor gleaming, guiding them to the gorge hiding the auxiliary entrance. Sirith touched the cliff, her silver skin sparking, opening the hidden door. A dark tunnel yawned, reeking of old metal. Careful, Terran whispered, drawing her energy weapon. Kael Varn knows we're coming. He'll be waiting. Marcus nodded, rifle raised, stepping into the dark. A distant drone's whine echoed, red light flickering in the tunnel. Trap, Sirith whispered, eyes tense. Marcus gripped his rifle, eyes cold. Harper, Kael Varn, the Starfall Heart, everything was converging, and he knew this battle would decide not just Citadel's fate, but his trust in Sirith, and in himself. The Order's underground fortress was a labyrinth of steel and stone, its corridors aglow with blue light from energy cores embedded in the walls. The hum of machinery blended with the soft footsteps of Marcus, Sirith, Terran, and a small Zynari resistance team. They'd infiltrated through the auxiliary entrance, the hidden door sealing behind, trapping them in cold darkness. Marcus led, rifle raised, night vision scanning every corner. Sirith and Terran moved close, their silver and white armor glinting faintly, like small flames in the depths. The resistance team, 5 Zynari warriors with energy weapons, followed, their golden eyes alert. They dodged sensors, slipped past patrol drones, each step a gamble with their lives. The corridor opened into a vast chamber, where the Void Curse loomed at the center. The massive machine, tall as a 3-story building, thrummed with a low growl, its core, the Starfall Heart, blazing, blue light swirling like a captive star. Marcus froze, his breath slowing, feeling its terrifying power. But before they could act, a cold voice echoed from a high platform above. You've brought humans and traitors to my doorstep, Sirith. Kael Varn roared, his black armor gleaming with red patterns, his energy shield a deadly halo. He stood amid elite warriors, their energy weapons flashing, ready. But you'll never touch the heart. Battle erupted, fierce as a storm. Marcus dropped 2 Order warriors, plasma bolts shredding their black armor, explosions drowning screams. Sirith plunged into the fray, her energy knife gleaming, slicing through an enemy with lethal precision. Terran fought beside her, white armor spinning in a deadly dance, each strike a perfect cut. But Kael Varn was unstoppable. His energy shield deflected every attack, from Marcus's plasma to Sirith's blade. He raised a hand, firing a red energy pulse that hurled a resistance fighter into a wall, stone shattering. Marcus rolled across the floor, dodging another beam, heart pounding. We can't break through, he shouted, eyes darting to the machine. Sirith, blood streaming from her shoulder wound, leaped onto the Void Curse's control platform. She stabbed her energy knife into the circuitry, sparks flying, the machine shuddering violently. What are you doing? Marcus yelled, firing cover as an Order warrior advanced. Cutting its power! Sirith replied, voice strained, hands flying over the controls. Screens flared, alarms wailed, but the machine held, the starfall heart blazing. Kael'Varn laughed coldly, leaping to the floor, his red shield blazing. "You only delay the inevitable," he growled, advancing on Cirith. But a figure emerged from a dark corridor. Harper, face bloodied and dust-caked, rifle raised, eyes red with guilt. Marcus froze, gripping his weapon. "Harper?" he whispered, disbelieving. Harper stood beside Kael'Varn, but his eyes wavered, torn. "I'm sorry, Kane," Harper rasped. "They promised to spare my family." Before Marcus could react, Harper swung his rifle, firing at Kael'Varn. The energy bolt struck his shoulder, his shield flickering, weakening for a moment. "I can't let them win," Harper whispered, but an Order warrior's shot pierced his chest. Harper collapsed, blood pooling on the stone. Marcus rushed forward, dragging Harper from the crossfire, but his breaths were fading. "Save my family!" Harper gasped, eyes dimming then stilled. Marcus clenched his jaw, rage and grief surging, but there was no time to mourn. Kael'Varn's shield was faltering, and Cirith seized the chance. She leaped, her energy knife piercing his armor, sparks flying. Terran struck from the other side, her weapon slicing his leg, forcing him to his knees. "Retreat!" he roared to his forces, eyes blazing with hatred, then fled into a dark corridor, abandoning the machine. Marcus vaulted onto the platform, standing beside Cirith, eyes on the starfall heart. "Get it out," he said, voice taut. Cirith nodded, touching the machine's core, her silver skin sparking as she entered a biocode. The starfall heart slid free, a fist-sized crystal blazing like a star. But as she lifted it, a deafening explosion rocked the fortress's depths. The stone floor quaked, walls cracked, dust and debris raining down. "He triggered the self-destruct!" Terran shouted, pulling a wounded resistance fighter from the rubble. "We need to get out now!" Marcus grabbed Cirith's hand, eyes cold. "The crystal," he said, voice resolute. She handed him the starfall heart, its blue light bathing their bloodied faces. They raced through the corridors, dodging falling debris, explosions shaking the fortress like it was collapsing. Terran led, her white armor blood-streaked, carving through remaining Order soldiers. A patrol drone charged, but Marcus shot it down, plasma tearing metal. The tunnel ahead collapsed, blocking the auxiliary entrance, forcing a new path. Cirith pointed to a narrow corridor, her golden eyes tense. "This leads to the mountainside," she shouted, voice cutting through the blasts. They plunged in, but Kael'Varn appeared, blocking their path, his scratched black armor still gleaming. "You won't take the heart!" he roared, raising his energy weapon, its red glow like blood. Marcus pushed Cirith behind him, firing rapidly, but Kael'Varn's weakened shield held. Terran charged, her energy weapon slicing his arm, disarming him. Cirith leaped, stabbing her knife into a gap in his armor, silver Zynari blood spraying. Kael'Varn roared, shoving them back, but a ceiling collapse pinned his leg, trapping him in rubble. "Go!" Marcus shouted, pulling Cirith and Terran through the corridor, leaving Kael'Varn behind. They burst onto the mountainside, the desert's cold air hitting their faces. Terran's Zynari ship waited, engines whining. They leaped aboard, Marcus clutching the starfall heart, its blue light reflecting in his eyes. The ship launched, streaking from the shattered range as the fortress erupted, flames blazing like a second sun, consuming everything. Cirith sat beside Marcus, dried blood on her silver cheeks, her golden eyes on the crystal. "We got it," she whispered, voice hoarse. "But Kael'Varn might still be alive." Marcus nodded, eyes cold. Harper was dead, the fortress gone, but the Zynari symbol from the cell lingered. The starfall heart was the key, but also the spark, and he knew this war wasn't over. The fortress's corridors shook, shattered stone raining down, explosions roaring like the earth was tearing apart. Marcus and Cirith raced through the steel maze, the starfall heart blazing in Cirith's hands, its blue light bathing her blood-streaked face. Behind, heavy footsteps and clanking armor echoed. Kael'Varn, leading the Order's last forces, pursued relentlessly. Terran, her white armor bloodied, ran beside them, her golden eyes cold. A nearby explosion cracked the stone floor, dust blinding them. Marcus grabbed Siritha's hand, pulling her from a falling chunk of debris. "Move!" he shouted, voice cutting through the collapse. They hit a junction, red energy weapon glows flashing behind. Kael'Varn emerged, his scratched black armor gleaming, his fading red energy shield still formidable. "You won't take the heart!" he roared, firing an energy bolt that scorched the wall beside them. Terran skidded to a halt, spinning back, eyes resolute. "Go, Sirith!" she shouted, drawing her energy weapon, its blue glow flaring. "Protect the crystal!" Sirith hesitated, her golden eyes wide with anguish. "Terran, no!" she cried, but Marcus pulled her onward, his heart heavy. Terran stood firm in the corridor, her white armor aflame against Kael'Varn's darkness. The clash of weapons rang out, then faded under an explosion's roar. They burst from the fortress through the mountainside exit, the desert's icy air hitting their faces. Marcus glanced back, seeing flames erupt from the entrance, swallowing everything behind. The fortress collapsed in a cataclysmic blast, black smoke blotting out the moons. Sirith stood frozen, the starfall heart blazing in her hands, but her eyes shimmered with tears. "Terran!" she whispered, voice breaking, her silver cheeks glinting. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, voice low but firm. "We have to destroy it, Sirith. For her. For everyone." She took a shuddering breath, nodding, her grip tightening on the crystal, her golden eyes reigniting. Sirith drew the remote destructor Terran had given her, a small metal device glinting blue. She entered her biocode, silver fingers moving swiftly, the starfall heart flickering as if responding. "Ready?" she asked, voice hoarse, looking at Marcus. He nodded, standing close, his hand covering hers, feeling the warmth of her silver skin. "Together," he said. Sirith activated the device, and the starfall heart erupted in a blinding white flash, like a miniature supernova. The shockwave rippled out, disabling the Order's energy grid, shutting down defense towers across the shattered range. The Void Curse, stripped of power, became a useless husk of metal. As the dust settled, Marcus and Sirith stood on a hill, gazing at Citadel Vorn, still glowing under the three moons' silver light. The city survived, its lights like small stars in the red desert. "We did it," Sirith whispered, voice choked, her golden eyes dimmed by loss. Marcus squeezed her hand, feeling the pulse of her silver skin. "Together," he said, voice low, carrying an unspoken vow. They stood amid war's wreckage, but for the first time, Marcus felt a spark of hope, not just for Citadel, but for both their peoples. A month later, Marcus stood on a Citadel Vorn balcony, now a hub for human Zynari reconciliation. Desert wind carried the scent of sand and new beginnings. The city bustled, peace flags, human blue and Zynari silver, fluttering in the sunset. Sirith stood beside him, in traditional Zynari garb, its shimmering fabric hugging her silver skin and graceful form. "They want us at the outer colonies for peace talks," she said, a playful smile lighting her face. "Seems we're symbols of unity." Marcus chuckled, pulling her closer, his hand on her shoulder, feeling her familiar warmth. "So I'm stuck with you?" he teased, but his eyes were soft, seeing a boundless future. Sirith looked up, her golden eyes blazing like twin flames. "Maybe," she replied, voice light, laced with challenge. "But I think you'll like it." He laughed, the first true laugh in months, relief flooding his chest. As the three moons rose, silver light bathing Citadel, Marcus sensed a new future unfolding, one where humans and Zynari were no longer enemies, but allies, perhaps even family. Yet in that quiet moment, the Zynari symbol from the cell flashed in his mind. Sirith had revealed much, but not all. He glanced at her, her silver cheeks glinting, her smile genuine yet tinged with mystery. "No more secrets, right?" he asked, voice low, half joking. Sirith tilted her head, her golden eyes twinkling. "No secrets," she replied, but her smile made him wonder what she still held back. He squeezed her hand, resolving that whatever lay ahead, they'd face it together. In the distance, a Zynari ship launched toward the outer colonies, carrying hopes of peace. Marcus and Cyrus stood, their silhouettes against the sunset sky, a promise that the stars would never fade, no matter how darkness tried to swallow them. Citadel Vorn shone, and in Marcus's heart, a new belief took root. From war's ashes, a new world could rise.